Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Pipeline Podcast. I'm your host today, Daren Mcclimans. And today's our 100th episode of the show. We've made it here. And you might be asking, like, hey, it's 100th episode. You couldn't get one single guest on here. You couldn't get one. That'd be a lie. We have a bunch of people backstage today waiting to come aboard. We're going to bring them in, returning after a whole year off. Disappearing from us from the void. Taz is here. How's it going, Taz?
It is good. It is good to be back. Thank you for having me for such a special occasion. 100 episodes. That is insane, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
Absolutely, man. It's been a minute since we've talked about anything. I think it was last July was the last time we had you here.
Yeah, it's been some time. It's long overdue.
Absolutely, a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun back when we would do our Flash episodes, or especially our Superman Lois and Gotham Knights episodes, and all those kind of fun things. Next here on the docket, we have the brothers from the Giggly Gorilla podcast, Everest and the Red Arrow. How's it going, guys?
What up?
Yo.
Good to be here.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Congrats on 100.
Thank you.
Crazy. So proud, bro. Glad to be here for 100 episodes. It's awesome.
Absolutely, yeah. There's like a running joke in our group that I can't get two of you on the same episode, and we finally did it. Especially the trio from your film and TV podcast. So it's great to have you there. By the way, is my audio like robot-y, or does it sound good? I saw someone say it was robot-y. No, we're good.
Yeah, you're sounding good.
Good to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. And next, my favorite robot, it's Buddy. No, just kidding.
As we all know, the rent comes due. So I'm here due to that Disney check. Come and clear.
Absolutely.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you, Daren, for that. My bank account feels very happy now.
Oh, yeah.
Happy 100th episode, my friend.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, we all know that, I pay a pretty penny for my guest to be here.
Oh, absolutely.
So, yeah. Absolutely. And after 100 episodes, I'm kind of broke. So, this is actually it, guys.
The 100th episode and the final episode.
Yeah.
Before the reboot.
Calling it quit.
I start back at episode 1. That's
Disney.
The new
Disney
Daren Adventures. We'll start off after this.
The Uncanny Pipeline. The new reboot.
Oh.
Well, you got to get out of that
Pipeline 2
bankruptcy
Electric
before
Boogaloo.
you start over, you
Even
know?
better.
Oh yeah, get that. Absolutely. But again, thank you everyone in the chat here. Again, I've just these last couple weeks, it's been like I just want to reach that milestone. I just want to get there. If I can say that I've done the 100 episodes. So, but thank you everyone in the chat who's here to celebrate with us. Hero's Journey is just here for Taz. How are you, Taz? He said, "Screw everybody else, just Taz."
That's some dedication. I'm only here for Taz too, really.
Oh, you know what? That's fair.
Well, in relation to that, I'm only here for you guys. So.
Aw.
Oh,
Yeah, I planned
look at
this
him.
entire
What a
event
stand-up
just
guy.
And that's why we love Taz.
There, over the course of your absence, especially early on, there was a lot of speculation about where Taz went. I once said he has a lot of new responsibilities, and someone was like, "Did he have a baby?" I was like, "No, guys, no."
No, I was just on another Earth.
Oh, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. Now we're back on Earth Prime.
Hello, Cameron. How's it going? So yeah, in today's episode, I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do at first. I was like, 100 episodes, got to be something special. So I have cooked up a wheel of some very, very fun questions to ask my guest here. We have a lot of fun, a lot of just fun conversation starters. But to start the episode, I like to ask my guests what the heck they've been watching lately. What have they been consuming? Whether they've been either reading or playing games, or is there anything people have been consuming lately that they'd like to give a shout out to?
Well, I think the last thing that I watched fully, I know this is already going to start some controversy, but The Acolyte. Yeah, that perked up Buddy's ears. So, yeah, Acolyte, I actually really enjoyed it. I made a whole video on it. Very controversial that I actually enjoyed it. But yeah, as far as shows go, that's I guess the last thing that I watched, which is crazy. It feels like that was like a month or so ago at this point. And patiently awaiting the release of Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Zombies as well.
I'm right there with you, Taz.
Yeah.
I'm waiting.
Everest, have you seen anything?
Let's see what. Oh yeah, so I just finished watching. I can't even remember, dude. It's like gotta pull up the letterbox and
That's what I'm doing.
time, whatever. Yeah, man. I finally checked out Con Air with Nick Cage for the first time in my life, because that's been like a movie I've heard about growing up from the '90s for like forever, and I was just like born too late to be a part of that time period, and it's pretty cool. It's a cool movie. I'm a big Nick Cage fan. He's fun in that movie. As far as TV, I've mainly been rewatching a comfort show, Prison Break, for the past month or so. So that's been pretty good. And then as far as other stuff, I don't know. I'm waiting to get my hands on that new college football video game that just came out. Gonna play that with some friends once I head back out to college. But yeah, that's about it, honestly.
Hell yeah. Braden, how about you?
Oh, after Cape Crusader, I finally watched My Adventures with Superman Season 2. And
Yes.
I thought it was better than Season 1. Really liked the direction they took that show. Kara was awesome.
Yes.
I finally watched the first Alien movie. I've held off on those for years and years and years, but I'll be seeing Romulus tomorrow, so I was like, I should at least watch the first one.
Skip the one.
And,
so, is this 8 now?
Atmosphere in that movie is incredible.
Is this number 7 or
it's so
8?
good.
I think it's the 7th like main continuity one, but if you count like Alien versus Predators, there's like 9 of them or something like that.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's crazy.
There's a lot.
I'm wanting to start them this week as well, where like I don't normally like scary stuff. I don't know, for some reason I really want to check this one out. Is it scary or is it just like thriller?
The first one's a lot more
depends
atmospheric.
Who you ask? Yeah.
Like,
I would say the first one's
it's more
pretty scary.
tension focused and like it's not really.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I there are some scares, but then once you get to the second, it kind of transitions to just like some jump scares, but mainly like an action thriller sort of thing.
Sure.
But yeah, it kind of toes the line.
Oh yeah. And Buddy, how about you?
So I'm going to continue that conversation. I have 3 from my letterbox I want to talk about recently. Is Aliens. That movie is insanely good. Like, I really like Alien with Ridley Scott directing. Obviously, the atmosphere, the more thriller aspects are there. But when it switches over to James Cameron, it gets nuts. And it gets nuts real fast. And it's so unbelievably good. I'm, like, shocked at how good Aliens really was. My next one is a lot more serious, drastic tone switch here. The Zone of Interest from 2023. I finally got around to watching that movie on Max. Blew my mind. The actual production, the set design, the fact that like they used a real house in that movie, because like if you don't know, the Zone of Interest takes place obviously with World War II, and there's some very serious stuff that goes on like in the background of the family you're watching throughout the film. I was blown away by how good that movie is. So if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend that one. And then to completely slash the tone again, we're switching it up to X-Men Apocalypse. I finally watched this for the first time, and I am wearing the Saw X merch. I'm so excited for the next Saw movie. I'm sad it got delayed. But X-Men Apocalypse, I was talking to Daren before we started, and I have to admit something. I think the internet could very well be wrong about this movie. I was told for years this was the biggest pile of dog crap. And while it may be crap, it doesn't stink, okay? This one I think is like almost good. It's like I'm looking at it from afar and I'm like, you didn't quite catch the ball, but you almost did. And like that's enough for me. I honestly, you fumbled it, but like you really tried, and I saw you try. I don't know. Those are the 3 recently for me.
Amazing. Yeah, no, like when I watched that for the first time, I was like, this isn't bad, but I'm probably wrong. And then I watched it again recently, and I'm like, I still kind of vibe with it. I don't know. Me and Brayden recently went through like all the X-Men movies for the first time, and like I feel like I was the one in that roster that I was like, I don't know, I kind of like it. I kind of like it.
Yeah, don't ask the co-host of my other podcast what he thinks of that movie.
Oh yeah,
he ranked it dead last in the X-Men franchise.
That's great. But man, I've been really slacking with things I'm watching. This is a really random one, but I watched 500 Days of Summer a couple weeks ago, and I thought that was like I was like, oh, it's gonna be a fun little rom-com. And I was like, this is like one of the deepest rom-coms I've ever seen. It's barely a rom-com. It's a very sad, like somber movie. But no, that was a great time, and I've been kind of on not a kick, but I've been playing a little bit more games than I used to recently. Yesterday I purchased Breath of the Wild for the first time. I'm gonna be trying to. I've never played a Zelda game in my life before, but I'm gonna try and go through that. And that new Fortnite update looks fun as well, so I'll probably jumping on more of that. Someone's also very happy to see Taz. Hello.
Hello.
So yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be the pipeline unless we had a news stories at least to talk about. And I have one new piece of news I do want to talk about prior to us jumping into our fun prompts. And I think we can all agree this is everybody's most anticipated film of 2020. For new Kraven the Hunter trailer ahead of December release. Now, I mean, I've obviously went through the polls. Everyone's looking forward to this movie. I mean, question: is anybody on the panel right now excited for Kraven? I feel like you should start there. Okay, buddy, get us started. What do you think of the new Kraven?
It was like 2 years ago.
I stayed up till 2 a.m. when they released this trailer. I was a part of the Kraven. No, I wasn't. I woke up in the middle of the night and was like, "What? Why is
they
this
put it out at 3 a.m? I don't understand."
After Madam Web, I'm ready for anything Sony has to throw at me, and it looks like they reshot this movie heavy.
They did
to implement new ideas, and oh man, that includes that weird looking rhino design, and I love it. I'm so excited. I know that people online are talking about the Bluetooth powers that Kraven has with the animals where you can connect to them. I'm just ready for this movie to start pulling heavy on the any Spider-Man connections. I don't want any of them. I want them to mention someone having a spider, but never mention Spider-Man. I want Kraven to have to earn his Hunter title. He needs to earn everything in this. I cannot wait. I'm almost like getting so anticipated. I forgot Venom is coming out because Kraven is going to be so much fun. I think that's a great description. It's going to be fun.
I feel like this one was trying to convince me it was good, and I don't know if it will be good, but I can feel like the trailer is trying to be like, hey guys, guess what? This is a good one. This wasn't Madam Web.
Oh, so the trailer did its job.
Yes.
But I don't know if I'm excited though. I feel like they're trying to get me excited, but I don't know if I'm excited.
I think it'll at least be better than Madam Web because Aaron Taylor Johnson is pretty incredible.
He is good.
He's a great actor.
Yeah. Fair point. He is kind of leading that discussion. It's crazy. We had him as Quicksilver, and then now Kraven. That's such an interesting change when it comes to characters like that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this also
it'll be a Tom Hardy situation with Venom where he just goes so over the top.
Oh, that's what the trailers are not giving us. And if that's the case, bring that on. I want more of that.
Yeah,
at least it would be consistent within your universe.
True.
This is true. Yeah, and
Kraven versus Venom though.
Oh, please. I'll pull up.
Honestly,
I'll be
just
there.
commit at this point.
Wait a minute.
Craven and his army of bears versus like the Venom horse in the Venom 3 trailer, bro. I'm sad.
That's what it's all leading to. That's why they're coming out around the same time.
What if instead of them building up the Spider-Man, it's building up Kraven's gonna take on the Sinister Six. He's gonna hunt them all down, and they're reshooting Venom right now, and it's like Kraven's gonna show up in the post-credit scene, looking for you, bub.
Bring them all in.
Yeah, bring them all in.
Morbius,
Give me another Portals moment
Madam
again.
Web, and just everybody.
Her web connects them all.
Oh, gosh.
This also has been rumored lately about like the like fact that Sony uses them in their movies, then the MCU or Marvel can't then use them. And of course, we don't know if that's true or not. But
that seems
if so,
weird.
That's really stupid.
That doesn't necessarily even make sense though, because what's his name, Vulture showed up.
Yeah,
right.
And, that is true, but they used it first,
Venom
right?
But Marvel used
sort
them
of
before
crossed
Sony.
over.
Yeah, that's true. Marvel used Vulture first, so that could be a loophole. I don't know.
I really like this whole Kraven movie. I was like, yes, this is cool, but I really want a Spider-Man versus Kraven. I'd love that. I think, and the fact that it was almost that for like Spider-Man 3, and I'm glad we got Spider-Man 3 that we got. But also, like, Kraven, though. Like, he's so cool.
Which Spider-Man, though?
I don't care at this point. Just pick one.
Like, if we got to choose?
Yeah.
Oh, the Amazing Spider-Man
so
3 with Kraven would be dope. Andrew Garfield.
Man.
Yeah. Andrew,
yeah, I want it to be Andrew Garfield as well.
I think I would honestly choose Tom Holland. As much as I prefer Andrew's Spider-Man, I'm like...
Yeah.
The original idea for Spider-Man 3 being Tom Holland's Spider-Man versus Kraven, I'm like, man, I want to see that. But then I guess the idea with that, though, is like, I'd want Kraven to make Spider-Man end up where Green Goblin already got him. So maybe it would be better to go Andrew. But then already at the same time, it's like, Andrew, to me, is already at that end point that he would have been the Kraven anyway.
Yeah.
Is that making sense? My brain is not operating. I don't think at full power.
I get you. I get you.
Because I want Kraven to make Spider-Man feel bad things.
Yeah. But then also kind of where we leave Peter, I think could be kind of cool, where it's like, you have nothing. I am hunting you down. You don't have friends. You don't have family. It's just you and me. Like, I feel like that could be a fun dynamic. I don't know. But also, I'd take anything with Andrew. Like, I think Andrew just my guy at this point. Like,
give me Phasm 3, please. I'm begging.
Yeah.
Do the whole thing where you're going to bring back characters as zombies or whatever. You're going to bring people back. Just do it. Just do it. I want it.
Yeah. But it's also been in my head, like, as of recent, of the, like, Deadpool and Andrew Garfield Spidey. Like, I think those two would clash so unbelievably well.
That would be amazing. Pun intended.
Should we have a Spider-Man versus Sinister Six movie? I don't know.
Hero's Journey. Are you just Sony CEOs?
Bro, that's been teased for 10 years.
Come
I don't
on
even
now.
care anymore.
That's what Sony's been wanting forever.
I've been waiting for them to use Scorpion since. Throw him in Spider-Man 4. Just throw him a bone at this point. I don't know if he's the main villain, but give him something.
Yeah.
Please.
I feel like he's gone through most of like Better Call Saul prior to us getting him in Spider-Man.
Just give us a quick cold open, something with the character. Do anything. Like, I'm begging.
The opening of the movie is him fighting Spider-Man.
Yes.
That would be cool. Yeah. But what was that last question I saw? I know that this is not related to Kraven, but did anyone see Umbrella Academy? Yeah, they had that new season come out this week. I'm scared because I hear it's not good. I hear it's the worst season. I really disliked season 3. So
yeah, I never even saw season 3.
I dipped out like halfway through season 1. So
wow.
Oh,
fair enough.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can say my mom started watching the new season.
Hell yeah.
She said it was fine from what I heard from her, but I don't know. I haven't seen it. I don't think I watched past season 2 of that show.
That's fair. I love those first 2 seasons, and then I don't know. Season 3 kind of killed me. I was just like, I don't know. I'm not vibing with this. So yeah. With that being said, I think we're gonna be moving on to the main event today. And again, I kind of wanted to focus on this a little bit early, just to have the chance to really dive into here. So let me screen share really, really quickly. Let me make sure. Okay. So here trust me, we're not even going to touch the surface of all the questions I made, but I wanted there to be a good
Oh
variety.
boy.
Oh
I
wow.
made like I spent yesterday coming up with like 60 odd questions just to ask you folks of just like, now this wheel isn't necessarily like a quiz, but more so like, what's your favorite blank? What's your favorite episode of blank? What's your opinion on blank kind of thing? And my whole kind of goal was I just kind of wanted an episode where I can just kind of chill and talk with my friends and just have a really fun time. So yeah, we're just kind of spin each round. We're all going to go take a chance and answer the questions. And again, if anyone has dipped throughout any of the stream, by all means, like just throw it in the private chat and we will give you a send-off. Without further ado, I say we get this thing started. And also chat, if you guys want to chime in and say what your answer to each of these questions would be, by all means, go ahead and do that. Alrighty.
Do we have a Wheel of Fortune theme?
Oh, I should have. I think I have Jeopardy. Maybe I'll throw on a Jeopardy thing. Okay, this is a really one to start with. What's most anticipated film of the rest of 2024? That feels like a fun way to kind of intro this. So obviously we're most of the way through 2024 at this point. We have the back half of the year, the holiday season. Is there a film right now that for the rest of this year, obviously Deadpool just came out. I know that was a lot of people's most anticipated. Anything for the rest of this year that you guys are really excited for?
Beetlejuice. It's my most anticipated coming end of the year, so.
That's fair.
Bro's such a Burton fan.
That cast is just so tailor-made for me, bro.
Yeah.
Willem Dafoe, Michael Keaton, two of my favorite actors.
Jenna, and that comes out in a couple weeks. I can't believe it. Like it feels like it's like a year out, but it's not.
I'm so excited.
Sure.
I'll be sad if it's bad, but right now I'm excited.
Taz, you have one?
I mean, Deadpool 3 was my most anticipated of the year.
That's fair.
I would say probably either Joker 2 or Venom 3. We'll throw both of those out there.
I'd love it if Venom 3 was good, bro. I would be so happy if they were just like, here's a 10 out of 10 cinema. Like it wins best Oscar at the best picture at the Oscar just out of nowhere.
That would be crazy.
Dude, if it's as entertaining as Venom 2, I'll be happy with it.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Dude, I like Venom 2. I think Venom 2 is a fun time.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
I think they're all fun. Like they're like just shut your brain off and watch Venom eat people kind of thing. Like they're nothing insane, but I can find enjoyment out of them.
Well, they're both insane, but
yeah. And then that Venom horse, bro. I'm there.
Venom horse, let's go.
Everest, you got one for your most anticipated of the year?
Man, I was looking, trying to pick one. I am very excited for Joker 2. I think that movie looks super interesting. Another sequel, Gladiator 2. Ridley Scott coming back to do that. Seems exciting. And then I'll also shout out Robert Eggers has a new film coming out at the end of the year, Nosferatu, which I'll watch anything that guy makes. So,
Absolutely.
Yo, shout out to Sonic 3 as well. Still waiting for that trailer.
Oh yeah.
That seems like the vote of the chat at the moment is Sonic 3.
Sonic 4.
That would be my second after Beetlejuice. For
sure. Hell yeah,
Sonic
4. Let's go.
Sonic
Knuckles 2. Yeah, I'm excited. I think that might be the movie of the holiday season. I think like Mufasa. I as much as I'm excited, I think it's gonna be Sonic 3.
Sonic 3 and Nosferatu were what I'm most looking forward to. That like Christmas.
But Lord of the Rings is also coming out around that time, so hopefully. Which they haven't put out a trailer for that, so I'm wondering if it may get pushed back. I don't know. But buddy, do you have one?
It might. I don't know.
I have two. I am Nosferatu, Robert Eggers. I'm so excited. That's my number one. Right underneath that is Terrifier 3, baby. I am so excited for Terrifier 3. Darth Chosen, you and me are on the same wavelength today because I'm right there with you. AMC just teased that they want to make a bucket for that movie, and I'm like, you have my money. I have to give it to you now, whatever it is.
It's the year of the bucket, I feel.
Yes.
It's crazy that there are going to be people who are collecting these popcorn buckets now and have like all of them from all like the Dune 2 one. I just saw the Alien one that they have is crazy.
Oh yeah, that one's kind of
Which
Romulus.
one? Like the head or the chamber
face hugger, I think, that's like wraps around it or whatever. Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah,
still waiting for my Wolverine popcorn bucket.
I
ordered it actually.
Really?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they allowed you to like pre-order, like they did like a second release or whatever, so I ordered it. It's coming someday. Don't know when though.
Dang.
I really wish I would have got the like baby Deadpool like backpack one that they had at Regal. Like I saw it there my first day I went. I was like, no, I don't have room for it. And then the next time I went, I was like, no, screw it. I'm gonna get it, and it was gone. I was like, God damn it! I should have got it while I was ahead. I think mine. It was Mufasa at one point in time, just because I love The Lion King. But I don't know. I hate how it looks in terms of like the effects of the lion. Like I just don't.
You want to say Moana, Daren? Come on.
It's Moana now. Like I think.
Yeah.
As soon as it was announced, it was like, oh yeah, Mufasa's clearly moved down. Like, and you know what? It actually is a great year to be like a Disney fan, I think, because like at least for me, Lion King is my number 1 Disney movie. Moana is my number 2. So both those movies are getting like new installments this year, which is exciting. And I think like Inside Out also came out this year, which I love, which is Pixar, but still, like I think it's been a pretty good year for like that side of the Disney brand. And then something else came out this year. I don't remember what, but it's whatever. But yeah, no, that Moana is definitely mine. I don't know if anyone said Joker 2 yet. I think someone said Joker. Yeah, I think you said Joker 2. But Joker 2's up. Yeah. Is there anything else? I guess those are the big ones.
Like all the good
we already
stuff
talked
came out
about
early in the
Craven,
year.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Craven.
Yeah.
Like we're good.
Movie of
Looking
the
at the
year.
list, Craven. We did it. That's it. What's the Craven popcorn bucket look like? Is it Aaron Taylor Johnson's just head? Is it the
it's
rhino
like
head?
or a giant lion head that you.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
You stick your
You
hands
gotta
in
open up the lion's mouth, and then you get your popcorn
I like
with
it.
realistic fur.
Oh yes. Yes. So when you get the hot dripping butter on it, it's even better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all
exactly.
sticky.
That's how you clean it. Yes.
And it makes noise every time the mouth opens. It growls or whatever.
Get ready for the most obnoxious theater experience of your life when you just hear in the
True.
worst.
Oh, no. Every time it opens, it says it's Craven time.
Oh, that's so good.
All right, our next question here. What's your favorite member of the Avengers? So if you want to go comic Avengers, if you want to go MCU Avengers, I guess anyone just kind of classified under that group of characters. Does anybody have a shout out of those of that team, I guess if you will?
Hawkeye. No further explanation.
Respect. I always loved Hawkeye too. That's a crazy person to just bring up though from the Avengers as your favorite.
I mean,
the superhero
Captain
version
America's
of
the guy I
Hawkeye.
think of when you say Avengers. So Cap.
I
Trying to
am
think.
calling out the true hero of the Avengers, Janet Van Dyne, the Wasp. I am so mad that she got terrible treatment in the MCU. She should have been in there from the jump. Okay.
Founding member of the comic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now the actress is done acting, so she's just gone from the MCU for a bit. I guess until after Secret Wars, I guess they can recast.
Janet fans, we stay losing.
Yeah.
Oh, is Michelle?
I guess they can
Pfeiffer
just
done
recast. Yeah, she's done. Apparently, that's what she said. Maybe they'll roll out that Marvel paycheck, but but I mean, do they really want her? Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like
Yeah, could have just stayed in the quantum realm after Quantumania. It would have been fine.
Everest, do you have one?
Man, I've been thinking. It's like, where do I want to go? Do I want to go strictly the comics Avengers, all the MCU characters? I'll shout out Iron Man and Cap. I think from the MCU, they're just the faces for a reason. And then kind of under the radar, a guy I've always loved, sneaky role player, Falcon. That's my boy. Glad to see what he's doing these days, stepping into a larger role.
Hell yeah.
Always loved Falcon and Anthony Mackie.
Red Arrow, you said Cap, right?
Yeah, Cap.
Braden? I don't know why I called you Red Arrow. I've never done
Yeah, I was like, that's a little weird, but I'll just go with it.
But you have... Oh, no, wait. You said Wasp, right? Okay.
Yeah. I'm giving her the time to shine, like the MCU has not done. I'm so mad about that. I don't know if you can tell.
No, I can't. I don't know. I'm a basic bitch with Captain America. I am just
Hey,
like Chris
that's
Evans'
fair.
Cap
Hey,
is
we're the
like I don't know.
same,
Just
Darren.
like the line from Deadpool. I was like, you're right. He is just like cocaine. Like he's just like I get it, man. Like he's just so likable. I don't know.
That's so true, though.
Hero's Journey said favorite Avenger War Machine. Hell yeah.
That's what I'm
I
talking
said-
about.
I said for a while, like I thought like War
It's a good
Machine should
pick.
have led the like new Avengers because like he's the one
Yes.
there from day one.
Yeah.
If
Oh,
he's
that would have been awesome.
he like like everyone. I feel like everyone talked about Spider-Man with the Downey announcement. I was like, I think War Machine would be more fair. I mean, not that Peter wouldn't be, but I feel
Mhm.
like War Machine should be one of the leads of that movie with how close he was to Tony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think people
just
just
his-
said
his
Spider-Man because of
experience, too.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, 100%.
I think that's
Um,
another actor they didn't utilize very well was Don Cheadle. Like you have Don Cheadle
Yeah.
right there, and you're
He's
not
great.
using him.
Yeah.
He's incredible.
I'm so worried that movie's not going to come out now because of,
Well, is it
I'm-
the rumor that it's been like indefinitely shelved?
Yeah,
I
which would be really sad.
it's so frustrating because I think with this Downey news, it's either going to be one of the biggest movies in this phase
Mhm.
or it's just gone. Like there's no in between at this point. Which Hawkeye, Clint or Kate, Taz?
Definitely Clint Barton for sure. But I have become a bigger fan of Kate Bishop. Actually, interestingly enough, the Avengers video game. Weird. I
Sure,
know,
fair enough.
Wow.
but when they both dropped, I actually
Mm-hmm.
played it a little bit then, and I was like, oh, I kind of like them. So
Sure. LBM said MODOK who died in Avenger. Shout out to him and Quantumania for the 6 people who watched that movie. We have
I
we have
want to be
we have a
reminded of that.
Spider-Man
Ugh.
we have a Spider-Man shout out. We have an Iron
Yes.
Man shout out, a Clint shout out. Yeah, absolutely. Great mentions all around. All right, next year. Oop, let me zoom that in. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, let us experience the wheel in all of its glory.
Yeah, we must.
and all of its 12 FPS of glory.
Okay, this one's fun. A show that ran too many seasons or should have concluded sooner. Oh man, I feel like in our industry there's a lot of those. I feel like there's a couple of those. Although nowadays there's not as many. Like I feel like a lot of them get canceled too soon. But is there one that we have at like the top of our head? Buddy, I see you thinking over there. I'm worried.
Y'all are not gonna like what I have to say here in a minute.
I think I know what you're gonna say.
The
I feel
first
like
one that came to mind was a show I didn't finish. So.
I
It's
think
a
I
show
know what
you
you're
won't
thinking
see,
of too.
dude. Yeah, the Flash.
I
The
think
Flash.
Yeah.
No.
Flash,
Yeah.
Oh, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like the Flash was in my mind when I was writing the question. I was like, they're all gonna say Flash, and honestly, I'm
Flash.
okay with that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
true
I-
for me as well.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Season
I
5
don't know,
just
those-
burned
yeah.
me on that show, man.
No,
yeah,
and that's
season
fair.
5 was like the tipping point for me as well. The first, early Flash is still so good when I look back on it and just like the memories and vibes of that show. But I basically quit watching it towards the end, and it
Yeah.
could never really win me back.
Mhm.
Being a fan till the end was so
yeah.
damaging to being a fan of the Flash. Like it hurt to watch
Yeah.
that last season.
Buddy, we did the Flash final episode on here,
Yep.
and like that was
Yup.
like a therapy. Oh yeah, Taz too. It was
Yeah.
us three.
Yeah.
we were
Yup.
doing it,
Oh,
and it was
man,
like
that's bringing
Could
back
never
all the
forget,
memories.
Never forget
Oh.
that.
Well, respect
because-
to you fellows for sticking it out.
I missed the first
Yeah.
half of the episode, and I came in. I was like, "Screw it, we're just gonna talk about it anyway." And it was just like a therapy session, being like, "It's over. Like we're happy it's over. We're sad it's over.
I'm so
and
happy
Yeah.
it's over, but why do I feel this way?
It's ending, man.
Yeah.
Was rough for me. It,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that- like I had I like the actual final moment, like the actual final moment of the
Sure.
whole thing. I was like,
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
this a lot. The moments preceding that made me want to jump out the window. Like I couldn't
Yeah.
believe, and like that final season as a whole, like everyone in the chat can concede. I was the biggest like simp of the show
Oh,
for
yeah.
as long.
Oh yeah.
Like I was every season. I'm like, but it's going to get better this season. It's going to get better. And the final season was me finally realizing, oh, it's not going to get better. Like this is where we've kind of come. And again, it's still one of my favorite shows. But like, yeah, you can't. It's hard to argue that it didn't fall by the wayside as it went on. LBM said The Flash because I think season 3 final would have been a perfect ending to the show. But that's the thing. I don't know. Like, I feel like I wouldn't because I feel like that's what a lot of people say is like it should have ended after season 3. But there is a lot of good stuff that does come out post season 3. Like, there's a lot of good. There's a lot of fun stuff that happens after that at the same time, and I wouldn't want to take that away from it. But also, I don't know when the right time would have been to say like, okay, this is the stopping point. Like. I don't know.
I mean, I feel like it could have gone like 10, 15 seasons if the seasons were a little bit more streamlined. Maybe if the seasons were like 8 to 12, 8 to 13 episodes instead of like 15 to 22, maybe it could have gone a little bit further. But yeah, it was time to be done when it was time to be done, honestly.
Yeah, like it ended at a place where I'm like, I'm totally okay with not watching the show again. And I feel like if it would have gone on for that 10th, I probably would have just become a full-on hater at that point, and I'm glad I didn't get to that full point. Just like hate watching a show.
Those
like,
YouTube views could have done some good.
Flashed on woke, exposed. No,
I mean, we all know me. I can't hate on anything because I don't know. I just don't. I don't hate on stuff, which is weird.
Sure.
That's good though.
I always find something that I enjoy. Like I'll never I've never made like a inherently negative video. Like I'll nitpick stuff, but I won't like.
Sure.
You know.
At the end of the day, I feel like that's almost like the better route, which is another reason why we love Kaz. Okay, because that's honestly the best way to go around it. When you come in with such a negative attitude and you're looking for the hate, guess what you're gonna find? You're gonna find the hate.
Yeah.
But when it takes someone else to come up and say, "No, this is what I actually liked. Here's the good," that stands out a lot more when on the internet it doesn't.
Yeah.
Sure.
Just to be a hit. I got to give a shout out for saying you still when I ranted on Flash season. Those videos for a very good reason because I was in the attitude because that show really fun for me. That and I like that perspective anymore. As is leading it, find the and enjoy that. It's okay. You don't need to just look for the hate because you'll find.
Absolutely. I think Buddy froze for me. I don't know if everybody else.
Oh yeah,
he went.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that was my internet or his.
Okay.
Am I back? What happened?
Yeah,
you turned into a robot for a second.
Spazzing out just a bit, but it's okay.
Am I back?
Not
Maybe.
quite, but
a
little bit.
1 minute. 1 minute.
Was there?
Seeming okay.
Was there
That
any?
mom for programming.
Was there? He's gone. Okay, that's okay. He'll be back hopefully. Was there any answer that wasn't the Flash that people want to bring up?
I'll throw another one in there randomly.
Okay.
Riverdale. I think Riverdale went on way too long as well.
That's fair.
It kind of devolved into just wildness. I mean,
Yeah.
that it was a normal show. But
I feel like though, here's the thing. The thing I think about Riverdale is it either had to end after season 2, or it did actually like have to keep going because it almost became like the essence of the show is that it is so ridiculous and off the rails. But I agree with you. It definitely took a turn downward for sure and just kind of devolved.
Season 3 was rough.
I'm glad I came back to Riverdale. What a
yeah. No, welcome back.
Honestly, though, I kind of felt like that was almost the strength of the show at that point. Like, I didn't watch his last 2 seasons, so maybe, you're probably right. But, like, I almost feel like it's a thing of, like, what makes Riverdale at this point is it's the dumbest show you've ever seen. And I feel like it finds that strength. I feel like at a point they're like, oh, people like how stupid this is. Let's just keep doing it. Like, let's get a giant wheel and just pick a random topic. It's like, oh, we're doing aliens this season. All right, we're doing superpowers. Multiverse? Sure, let's just do it. Like, they just didn't care anymore. And honestly, I can respect that. Like, I definitely can.
No, yeah, don't get me wrong. I still enjoyed it, but like, it was definitely a turn your brain off and don't think too hard about it kind of show.
Cameron said Grey's
Sam
Anatomy
Wentworth
as
jumping
well.
out the window in season 4. That was
so
me as a fan of that show.
Cameron said Grey's Anatomy, which I can definitely get.
Isn't that show still going?
Yeah, they're on like season like 32. Yeah.
Dude, my mom's
Grey's
seen
gone.
every single season of that show. It's crazy. I don't know how she does it.
But like,
I feel like you can say that about any
Anatomy
show like that
gone.
though. Like Family Guy, The Simpsons, like 30 seasons.
Yeah.
Or any show.
I don't think they're that. I think they're in like the 20s still, but they've done a lot.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah,
but honestly,
I guess
like they have like found the rhythm
Darren.
where it's like it's a new cast every season. It's whatever. Like we're just gonna keep telling stories with the title, so it's just this rotating thing. So like, fair enough. If people are still watching it, right? If there's still somehow an audience after all that time, fair enough. I guess.
Yeah. I guess before we move on, I'll shout out one more that came to mind is Suits, which was one of my favorite watches that I started to go through last year when it blew up on Netflix. That show is awesome for the majority of 6 seasons. Like, it's consistently entertaining, a little bit lowbrow here and there at times, but like it's fun to watch all throughout. And then they had kind of a downward turn with season 6, brought it back up with season 7, and season 7 is like a good ending point for that show. And then there's like 3 more seasons afterwards that are all just like borderline unwatchable. And I'm like, you had such a good long run, just end it where it should have ended.
Sure. I mean, on the tail end of that, the new season of Cobra Kai, like I love it. Like it's still fun to watch, but like it's so clearly in this newest season that like, oh, you planned to end it last season. Like all their arcs were done, and now this new season they're back at like their season 1 arcs, and it's like, all right, that's a little disappointing. but yeah, let's move on to our next question. Our next question. Yes. This is fun. Do you consider there to be a difference between your favorite things and the best things? Now, this is a conversation me and Evers have, I feel like at least once a year, where like I feel like this is something that we have, and like I think in terms, especially in this new like ranking culture, or this new like review culture, there's a thing like this is my favorite movies list, and then there's like this is my best movies list. I feel like there's a conversation about like, but shouldn't those two things be the same thing? So I definitely thought this would be a very interesting conversation to have. Evers, let's start with you on this one, because again, we have this conversation at least once a year, I feel like. So what's your kind of stance on this?
Yeah, and I love having the conversation every time. For me personally, I meant that genuinely, by the way. Daren and I always.
He's like, screw you, man.
No. No, I genuinely do, and I think you always have a lot of really interesting takes on it. For me, I believe that movies and pretty much art in general are inherently subjective.
100%.
And there are just like things that are commonly seen as better or good, to me, doesn't make it objective. It just means like that works more often than it doesn't. So going with that, I just think it's a little bit weird to have a stark difference between like, these are the things that I think are the best, and these are the things that I think are my favorite. Because even if something has, like, isn't as seen as like critically good in the overall like sphere of discourse about it and everything, it has something that makes you personally love it. And so I feel like that can be the best to you, or one of the best to you. And it's just like, everyone's going to have their own opinions either way. Even if we say, oh, these are the best ones, or what I think are the best, everyone's going to have a different list of the best that is still in their opinion. So I think it's, for the most part, just about favorites for me. And that you can still kind of play into it, like something I like more because I think these qualities are better within that. And so it's higher on my favorites. But it's a combination for me. I more so lean just having, these are my favorites, film subjective. It's all, everything is awesome. And keep it moving.
100%. Buddy, do you have thoughts on this? Because I see your brain moving, so here's kind of where you're at.
I want to piggyback off of that, because I think that's honestly a really good way to go. And I want to also combine something that Taz said earlier, and this is something that I've been changing my perspective on, just because of, I think with the way movies and television, like you said, art in general is being talked about. Everyone thinks that they must have the perfectly right opinion all the time, and that their opinion's the only one. And I think you kind of lose the sauce at that point. The whole idea is that each one of us are individuals, and you're asking for our thoughts or your thoughts or my thoughts I don't want yours to influence mine in the same way where it's like, I'm only going to source my opinion from one other person or a group of people. I'm going to be influenced by how I perceive the movie. And that it brings it back to the conversation of being subjective. But I do think there is room for the conversation for there to be that difference in recognizing maybe a movie or TV show that has stronger writing compared to something that doesn't have a strong writing, but you still prefer the other project because it means more to you than the other one. But you can still recognize to a degree that, okay, maybe there's parts of this other thing that are substantially better, but it still doesn't make it my favorite. But I think at the end of the day, what matters is that as long as your opinion is actually yours and means something to you, that's what makes your opinion valuable, not just spitting what everyone else says or what Rotten Tomatoes says. It's what you say. I think that's what matters more than anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, like, because I agree with everything you guys just said, but I also do think I kind of, like, in my head, I have these two different lists when I come with, like, these are my favorite things in the world, and these are probably what people would consider to be the best thing, or like what I think is like the best made things. Like my favorite show lists, I feel like always like consists of things that I grew up in and like things that I are rooted in like nostalgia. Flash is one of my favorite shows. It is nowhere near what I think one of the best shows I've ever seen, and I feel like that's kind of where those two kind of drift off, right? Like if I'm talking about, and also on the other side of it, like just throw it out there. Breaking Bad, one of the best shows I've ever seen. It's not on my personal, this is one of my favorite things list. So I do feel like there is those two lists, but also I also think like you guys said, like these lists are so individually special because they're your lists. Like everything comes down to like your history with it, your experience watching these things, the overall quality and what you kind of got out of this. So yeah, no, 100%. Like I definitely think, in my opinion, there is a difference, but I also don't necessarily think it's a big deal either way. Like I feel like whatever kind of way you're swaying, it's a valid way to kind of think as well. So yeah, no, that's kind of my take on it. Is there anyone else that kind of has like a take on this question? Or
yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with pretty much just a combination of what you guys said. Is I feel like in some people's mind there can be that divide between best and favorite, but also they could also be one and the same, I think it's how you define it pretty much. Is like, is best meaning, all right, quality, is the script written well, is the cinematography good, lighting, camera angles, everything like that, is it to the best quality it can be, or favorite, do I just enjoy this thing? And I think where you find overlap between favorite and best is really kind of the best place to put it. Is you shouldn't care, again, kind of what the critics think or what is, subjectively, objectively the best thing for a movie or for a TV show. If you enjoy something, just because everybody else doesn't love that thing that you love doesn't mean it's not the best or cannot be your favorite. So I think, again, kind of drawing those lines, figuring out what both of those terms, I guess, mean to you when you're ranking things. And also, again, not being afraid to have a differing opinion just because you enjoy this thing that not everybody else does, or don't enjoy this thing that everybody else seems to love.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, that's a great take. Brayden, do you have any thoughts on this? Or
I pretty much agree with most of that in general terms. More or less, I'd say they're usually the same, but I feel like favorite usually like implies maybe it's not the best quality, but you have some kind of just personal attachment to it. Like, I don't know. Batman and Robin's like one of my favorite things that exist. Is it one of the best movies ever? No, but I love watching that.
That's a great take. That's a great take. I like hearing that.
It's a fun movie.
The ice skates in that, phenomenal set piece. I love it. Back credit card.
I love the ridiculousness of it.
Yep, I'm with you.
It's time for you to chill.
What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. Great movie. Great movie.
Favorite TV show of 2024 so far. So again, ever since last time I had you on, we kind of did like a little like recap of the year thus far. But Brayden, let's start with you this time around. What's your favorite? I know you ever know, Brayden. Do you have a favorite TV show that you watched so far? We talked about a lot together so far, but what's your kind of favorite so far?
I mean, I'm very biased, but Batman Cape Crusader is my favorite show this year. Which I haven't watched a ton of TV shows this year.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I enjoyed Cape Crusader. Happy to have a new Batman show.
How long is that? I haven't seen it yet.
It's
only 10 episodes, and they're about 25
Okay.
minutes, somewhere around that range.
25 minutes.
Yeah. It's a very quick binge. Like I got done with it in like 2 days without much.
Oh,
of a
nice.
struggle,
Okay.
you know?
Cool.
Taz, let's start with you. Obviously, I haven't talked to you about any TV shows this year.
Yeah.
Obviously, we talked a lot last year. We talked like Superman Lois and Secret Invasion and Gotham Knights. Is Gotham Knights your still favorite show of this year? Did it like transfer over?
Oh, no. There was quite a few other things that came out this year, but obviously it hasn't been as extensive as it was last year. I think things that still rank up there. My Adventures of Superman season 2, for sure. That one was incredible. I think there's definitely a case to be made if you're a Star Wars fan for the Acolyte. I really did enjoy it. There was some fun stuff in there. Again, I know that's not the popular opinion, but when you have a really cool, crazy Sith Lord in there, that does some fun stuff, obviously I'm going to enjoy it. And then I did also see Hero's Journey mention Halo Season 2. Again, another very polarizing show. You can say what you want about, the depiction of Master Chief and everything in the Halo show, but it was just kind of crazy that after all these years of talk about, there's going to be a Halo show, there's going to be a Halo movie, who's going to make it, where's it going to go? It was kind of amazing that it actually ended up happening, and we got to Halo, we saw the fall of Reach, like, crazy big stuff that if you're a fan of the games, if you're a fan of the novelizations and things like that, that it would be pretty exciting to see on screen, even if it was a different take.
Absolutely. I still have not watched it, and I was kind of sad to hear it was canceled because I was like, oh man, I feel like maybe they didn't get the audience that they wanted to, and felt like a very bad circumstance that they were put in.
Oh yeah, they were just dealt a tough card. I feel like, and game fans have been just so down on what's come out recently as far as that goes, and I feel like that kind of translated into the show. It's like, you can't make a good game, you can't make a good show, like, where's the Halo that I grew up with kind of thing.
Sure. Absolutely. Everest, do you have a favorite show that you watched?
Well, I'll touch on just a couple I mentioned when we talked last. I loved the Fallout show. I thought Fallout was really, really interesting. The Quiet on Set documentary series that came out about Nickelodeon, I thought was really well done. And then, even though it was my least favorite season of the show, I still really liked The Bear season 3. I thought there was a lot of cool ideas that came about in that season, even though, like I said, I think it's a step down from the first two. Cape Crusader was really cool. I liked it a lot. And there's a lot of TV that I haven't seen. I really want to check out that Jake Gyllenhaal courtroom presumed innocent. Is it? That's over on Apple, I think I've heard a lot about. Sounds pretty cool. But yeah, that's what I'd say.
Hell yeah. Buddy?
I have two, one live action, one animated. Fallout was absolutely incredible. I actually forgot I watched Halo Season 2 because of Fallout. I forgot that came out. Even if Season 2 of Halo was a slight improvement over Season 1 for sure. But
yeah, it was.
Fallout was absolutely intoxicating every single week because it was so beautifully made. And then continuing that conversation into X-Men 97, which was also absolutely brilliant. It had me on the edge of my seat. I didn't get to watch it week to week. Like, for me, I had it readily available to me in full binge, and it was just episode after episode after episode. Like, this is incredible. I am so excited for more of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I X-Men is my favorite thing I've watched in a long time, I think.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so, like, I don't want to go into spoilers because there's some people here who haven't watched it yet, but, like, cats! Cats!
I'm to episode 4.
Episode 4. Oh my gosh, Braden. Okay. Let me know after you finish the next one. So I will
I know
say
it was a
anything.
two-parter, so I've been waiting to...
No, I like, it's my... I genuinely think it's my favorite thing I've seen in a while. Like, I can't remember the last time, and I feel like I keep saying it to people, and I feel like I keep, like, overhyping it for some people, but, like, I don't know. I don't remember the last time I enjoyed. I love that. I don't remember the last time I enjoyed a show this much, and like the journey of watching a TV show to that extent. Like, I think if I just binged it on like a Tuesday night or whatever, I'd be like, okay, this is really good. But it's the like weekly journey of every week me coming on a thing and being like, yeah, let's break down the entire thing. Let's talk about each individual little thing. And it's, yeah, I think it's a good example of like, you have a really good show, right? But let's keep what works about that show and then improve upon all these different facets and really fun ways. And then Has Been Hotel was also one of my favorites of the year. Like, that really impressed me. I had a lot of fun with that. Alrighty. And Evers, you said you have to leave here shortly, so let's get one final question here for Evers before he has to skedaddle.
Yes, sir.
Let's
That'd
get
be great.
the final
Yeah, I've got
one.
time for one more. I've got time for one more. Wish I could stay longer. It's been fun with you guys, and happy to be here for the 100th. But
I'm glad I was able
to
talk to you.
Yeah, man, it's been awesome getting to talk to Buddy and Taz. Oh, we already did that one.
Yep, let's do that one again. Alrighty. Next question. Okay, this is a fun one. How are you feeling on the current state of DC? So obviously, I think everyone here knows James Gunn is currently kind of redirecting the future of DC. He has a new slate of his DCU movies. There's a slate of Elseworld stories. Some of the older stuff is now kind of starting to fizzle out. And Everest, let's start with you. How are you kind of feeling with DC? Obviously, you're a big DC fan, but maybe haven't been as much in the recent slate. Where are you at currently with the brand?
Right. Well, I thought a lot of the Zack Snyder and just like DCEU era of DC was a mixed bag. There's a lot I enjoyed, a lot I thought was well done, and a lot I wasn't a big fan of. Now with this James Gunn new era, what they're going into, I feel a very extreme mix of excitement. Like, I'm pumped. I think James Gunn's really talented. Super excited to see what he does, as well as fear that like this is DC's last chance with everything that Warner Brothers is going through right now, just like financially as a company, with the past couple years of DC not going so great, with stuff like Black Adam. There's others along the way as well, but I feel optimistic, especially because I think James Gunn is going to do a good job of creating that fun, connected universe with characters that we love, as well as allowing some Elseworld stuff, like still giving us Matt Reeves projects and still giving us Joker 2, that I'm really pumped for as well. And so I feel cautiously optimistic. I am excited, but there's also this like, it gotta work, you know?
Yeah.
Like, this has to hit, and if it doesn't, like, who knows what DC looks like for the future.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And the Batman Part 2, yeah, I feel like that's probably the thing you're most excited for over at DC, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
the Penguin, yeah.
That comes out in a couple of weeks, which is crazy that we're kind of there. Yeah, no, I'm so excited for what DC's been cooking. Again, you're right, that I think Superman is that make or break. Like, I everything I hear sounds great, but also there's the fear of like, what if it doesn't perform well? What if it doesn't? I don't know. What if it doesn't live up to the hype of I don't know, or I guess just the like financial success that we need it to. But yeah, with that, Everest, thank you so much for coming on and chatting with us. I very much appreciate you being here and having these conversations. It's an absolute blast. Where can people find you if they want to check out your stuff?
So people can find me on my YouTube channel, Arcanize, where I do once in a while just a combination of sports takes, movies and TV, all the things I'm interested in. I don't upload super frequently, but when I do, it's usually a topic I'm passionate about and want to put something out on. I'm on Twitter at ArcanizeYT, where I'll be reposting stuff I like or tweeting about sort of same thing, sports and movies. They're my go-tos. And yeah, that's really about it. Just want to say thanks for having me, Daren. I'm so proud of everything you've been doing. 100 episodes is awesome. And thanks to everybody else for some great conversations. Taz, Braden, and Buddy. It's been great.
It's been very
Absolutely.
awesome to meet you and talk to you. So
Yeah, it's been awesome.
I'd love to do that
Wow.
more. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Darren will have to hook it back up pretty soon again.
Absolutely.
Sounds
I'd love
good.
to be back.
Sounds good.
All right. See
All
you
right, man.
guys.
See ya,
Have a good one.
buddy.
Take care.
So yeah.
Yeah, Bruce.
Absolutely. See ya. And shout out to my good friend Connor as well, who's a big part of the show. He couldn't make it tonight, but he tried his best, and a big shout out to him. He's always a blast to chat with. But yeah, in terms of the conversation on the state of DC, does anyone else kind of have a? Obviously, this is such a huge conversation, so there's so many facets and so many opinions on this one. But let's start with you, Taz, actually, because obviously we talked a lot about this before you departed from us that sad summer's day. And there's been a lot to come out since then. We've had posters and suits and castings, and I feel like when you left was just kind of the start of everything that kind of went down. So
it kind of was.
What's your kind of thoughts on the current state of DC?
So I guess pun intended, no pun intended. I'm hopeful. Okay.
Yeah.
I loved the idea of James Gunn coming in and kind of taking over as that sort of studio head Kevin Feige figure that DC was so sorely lacking. I feel like they needed a direction, something to work towards, and obviously there were some ideas in the old kind of regime with the Snyderverse and everything like that. It is unfortunate that all of those kind of remnants are pretty much gone. Obviously that cost us, Henry Cavill Superman and things like that. And now we have our new Superman to kind of, reignite and restart this new DC universe, kind of consolidating everything, what's being said, TV shows, movies, animation, video games, everything is going to be kind of all connected under one umbrella, whether that be all on the same earth, all just interconnected within the multiverse. I think that that's a good idea, something to go into it with. However, I feel like they need to also remember that, it works well to have Elseworld stories, to have, multiversal things. So certain things like the Batman, like Joker, like, all of these, games and animated movies and shows, My Adventures with Superman, now Batman Cape Crusader. I think that as long as they still continue to do a lot of these Elseworld stories and these one-off, spin-off type of things, in conjunction with this interconnected movie and TV show universe that they're trying to create, I think it's a recipe for success for DC. However, if they try or if they allow that, connected, almost MCU-style formula to be their downfall, then once again, it will. They're trying to step into this established space and, make a name for themselves where, the MCU is already almost going into their second big Avengers event with, Doomsday and Secret Wars and everything like that. So I think they just need to play it careful. I think they need to listen to the fans. I think they need to, again, don't do anything crazy as far as just, throwing out everything as far as, the Elseworld stuff goes. But I'm hopeful. I'm optimistic. I saw somebody say cautiously optimistic. I think that's probably the best way to put it.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of because I personally think thus far there's been way more positives than negatives with this whole thing. Like they recently wrapped filming on Superman. I was like, there's been no pushback. There's no controversy. There's no no actors dropped out. No and it felt so refreshing to be like, this filmed a movie and they're done with it. There's no world-ending, virus. It felt so good. And again, I think if they can continue, and it seems like they've been very careful to keep this very professional thus far. And obviously they've had a couple mishaps, but so far I'm very impressed. Brayden, obviously you talk a lot about DC stuff over on your channel. You have a lot of your DC animated stuff over there. How are you currently on the future of DC?
I've loved everything I've heard from James Gunn, honestly, because he's pretty much said they're not going to start filming until they're 100% happy with the script. So, I mean, it helps that he started as a writer before he was a director. So, he is a storyteller first. And he's said on multiple occasions, you don't just make these movies to make them. You have to have a central story and an emotional connection. And just what he did with the Suicide Squad, Peacemaker, and on the other side of the fence with Guardians, I think he understands a lot of these characters and the fundamentals of them. So I'm excited to say the least. I'm really ready for Superman.
I agree. I think what happened, I want to get to Buddy here in just a second, but like what happened with Marvel over on like the Fantastic Four and Blade side, where it's like they were forced to announce projects that there currently wasn't a passion or they weren't ready to announce, I think should never happen again with these big stream cinematic universes. No. Like I think that's like the like cynical of why some of these universes don't work. And it was almost the end of them, I feel like. And it might be the end for movies like Blade and stuff like that. So I 100% agree. Like, it feels, everything I hear from James Gunn, has there been a couple of things where I've been unsure what he's doing? Sure. But I feel like it all comes from a place of love. And it feels like it comes from a place of just like being the biggest fan that he is. Like he loves cinema. Mm-hmm. He loves DC. He loves all these things. And I feel like if you love the work you're doing, even if it isn't what you want it to be, I feel like you can't necessarily go wrong. Because at least he did the best that he can. And he thought he was making the best movie he possibly could. So I think that's a great start. Buddy, we've talked about... Actually, we haven't done too many DC kind of episodes. I guess we did our Stargirl one all the way back.
Yeah, we did.
But, where are you at with this new DC kind of continuity?
So it feels like every time I'm on here, the best way I can get my feelings across is using comparisons with food. So I'm going to continue doing that. I want you to imagine it's the middle of winter. You're inside. You're home from school. You're sicker than a dog. You can't open your eyes. You can't smell. And you go into the kitchen and you're like, oh, wait a minute. Why am I smelling again? Hold up. I'm learning how to smell again. You go up to that stove. You look at the giant pot that's bubbling some chicken noodles in there. And you're like, oh, wait a minute. Hey, wait a second. You get that into a bowl and you're eating it. And you're like, actually, I'm magically okay again. That is me after watching The Flash and Black Adam and Aquaman 2, then seeing Superman. Because, oh my goodness, Superman is what I need. Yeah. I need Superman to feel better again. Because this movie, I think the biggest weight it has on me is just, I don't want to be heartbroken again. Yeah. I am ready. I'm ready, James Gunn. I am at your door with a boombox and I got my roses and I'm ready. And if you tear me down, I don't know what's going to happen to me. Yeah. Like I'm very optimistic because of what James Gunn has done in the past, what I've seen of Superman so far, the idea, right? And that big announcement video where he's like, filmmakers first, story first. We're not shooting until it's ready to go. That should not be like, James Gunn, you're an amazing genius for saying that. Yeah. But in the landscape we're in, like that's incredible to hear. Now I'm ready to see that put into practice. Yeah. And I think it's also very important with what Taz was saying, with what James Gunn has been talking about, the interconnectivity, the synergy between animation, video games, the whole 9 yards. There's going to be the DC canon, but I think it's really important to keep the multiverse and Elseworld stories alive because that's what was making DC thrive during its worst times in the pop culture era, was what they did outside of their cinematic universe. Mm-hmm. And I think they need to remember that. And I'm honestly just ready to see the movie because I feel like the anticipation for it is almost killing me because I'm like, I just want Superman. And then after Superman, having back-to-back summers be super summers with Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Yes, give it to me right now.
And I want it. Next summer, I'm so excited because I think on both sides of it, like, Superman, yes, that's so exciting. I'm so ready. Also, on the other side of Marvel, like, again, it's been hidden this for a lot of people. Fantastic Four, in my opinion, looks like the best thing Marvel's done in a while. Just in terms of, like,
so good.
The production, like when they went on stage, they showed the music, they had the car, they had the actors there who seemed like, I love that casting so much. And that was like the first full movie when Bob Iger's back being like, hey, less of this, more quality. I'm not saying Bob Iger's an angel because I guarantee there's some things that piss me off sometimes. But also, I feel like he's taking things in the right direction. I was like, I'd love if just like a fresh start for both Marvel and DC at the same exact time. It makes me so excited. I'm so excited for the future of DC. And again, I am not to make it a Marvel versus DC thing because I don't always like that. But also, I'm more excited for DC than Marvel right now in terms of the lineup of things. I'm excited. I have a question like this on the Marvel side, so I don't know if that's going to pop up here. But like, I don't know. I just again I am and crazy. It starts in a couple months. Creatures comes out in December. Like we're
That's
there.
true.
It's starting.
Yeah.
So
That
I'm
trailer looked
excited.
all right. I was like, okay. Didn't blow me
still-
away, but I was like, this is solid. Okay.
I still have my thing. I don't think that should be the first one. That's my only
Agreed.
kind of thing
Yeah.
against it. Like I think it should have been Superman, then this,
Yep.
and then I
Yep.
would have no issues. But yeah, no, this is. I'm excited for DC. Hopefully, and again, I think the next kind of like slate of things. So just this year, like it's Joker 2, the Penguin, and Creatures. Those are three I think are going to be like good. Like I think they're going to be very well made stuff. And then Superman next year, and then Superman Lois too, if you count that in your little kind of pocket of things.
That's true.
But yeah, I say we move on to our next question.
Keep rolling or keep spinning, I guess.
James Gunn just bringing back like the classic DC logo as well for the DC studios.
Oh,
yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfection.
That
logo's
tells
good.
me all I need to know.
Yep.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely.
And
all
plus,
right,
the
this
man
one's-
made me cry over a CGI raccoon. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
A movie or TV show you would like to see turned into a video game. Now, I don't know how many huge video game heads we have here. I'm personally not one, but is there one
I'm not one.
movie or TV show that you think would be really cool in like the video game landscape?
Very, very good question.
Buddy, let's start with you this time.
Oh no, I didn't mean it like that. I didn't.
Okay. Taz, you're a gamer. Let's
I don't
start
know yet.
with you.
Okay. That's tough. But if I had to pick one, definitely going back to the height of the Arrowverse, I definitely would have loved to see a Green Arrow game in the style of Batman Arkham.
Oh, good. That's a good one.
That would have been
That's a good
fun.
one.
Or there was a canceled Flash game back in the day that
want
I
Flash
wish
games
could
so
be
bad.
brought back in some form or fashion,
Mhm.
maybe coincide with the new DCU.
Mhm.
I think the Flash's powers working in a game, especially how powerful consoles and stuff are now with like those super fast load times with the SSD and everything like that, I feel like on a technical side they could easily do it now. And I mean, you know, if you've played if anybody in chat's played Ratchet and Clank, the new one, Rift Apart, you go through like these interdimensional portals and it loads an entirely new level instantaneously. So you could even have like multiverse travel in this Flash game. So
Yeah.
let's go with that. Multiversal Flash game
Hell yeah.
released on all consoles coming fall 2027.
I mean, I'll throw mine in the ring while Buddy's thinking over there. Like outside of my pipe dream of like a high budget, like Insomniac type Ben 10 game where you just have like all like you just have like all 120
Yes.
aliens and you go through and you unlock them slowly. It's open world, like all that. That aside, it would never happen. That's my dream. It's just like just the ability to have openness of all the aliens. Kind of obviously you earn up to it, but at one point having access to all the aliens at once would be, it'd be the coolest thing I've ever heard. I'd love that. Besides that, because I don't think that'd ever happen, I think an open world like How to Train Your Dragon game would be really, really cool. Just like I feel just the world of it, like you go through and you train up different dragons, and you could be, you know, you can run you can run Burke, and you can help your villagers, and you know it can kind of be this like almost Animal Crossing type game. You're like, I need help getting apple or whatever, but also you could like fight the different tribes. You train the dragon. Like I feel like that could be really, really cool. I'd love something like that. Braden, I know you're not as much of a gamer, but is there a movie or TV show you think would work in that I don't know, format?
The first character that came to my mind was like John Wick, maybe in the vein of like an Assassin's Creed or something like that.
Okay.
That would be cool.
I like the thinking.
Get Keanu Reeves back, be like, come on, fella, just one more.
That world's rich enough to like base
Yeah.
an entire game around. So
Hell yeah. Yeah, that's a great one. Buddy, did you come up with one, or are you still thinking?
This has easily been the hardest question I've had so far. I think I have an answer. I am choosing an anime. I hope that's cool.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
I don't think there's a game of this. I would love an open world, third person Cowboy Bebop game.
Oh,
I
okay.
think that would be phenomenal if anybody's familiar with that. If you're not, my other one I was thinking of would be just, I know they've had games in the past, but I'd love an X-Men 97 game. I feel like that would be amazing, especially if it's like an RPG or I don't know, even a roguelike if it went a certain way with it. But like, I think that would be really cool. But I think at the end of the day, definitely Cowboy Bebop. Really cool idea there.
I mean, we got the Wolverine game coming out from Insomniac next year.
Yes.
I've said like, hey, if that does well, an X-Men like Insomniac game would be really, really cool. Like, I think there's playing as like Cyclops. Oh my gosh, I've been like on my Fortnite kind of thrive, and they have like Cyclops in the game at the moment, and just like, you jump out of the parachute as Cyclops. It's like the opening to like X-Men 97 when he's going. They're all jumping off the plane. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm doing like I need to play the music while I'm.
Every time you land, do you say "To me, my X-Men," or are you a real fan?
I think
okay, Daren, because come on,
it's in my head as I'm the whole way down. Just all the quote. Oh my gosh, the quotes from that show.
Yeah.
Don't let me let you down is in my head constantly. It's just on replay. It's so good.
It's a good question. Good question. That's that, and that's like the next like the newest genre has been just adapting video games, and it looks like we're finally doing it right. Like, I know we've been doing it forever, but actually having good ones is nice to see.
I agree. Alrighty. This is a fun one, kind of different from what we talk about. What's the best DreamWorks movie? This one's fun. I don't talk about DreamWorks much on here.
This is even harder, Daren. This is an even harder question.
I have my answer.
I don't even know how many DreamWorks movies I've seen.
Yeah, Tess, let's start with you again. Are you a DreamWorks guy, or do you need to look?
I mean, like, I know Shrek.
If you want, I can go first.
I would like to.
How to Train Your Dragon is
list.
DreamWorks, right?
Yes, it is. If you want, I can start and let you guys give a chance to look them up.
This is so hard because it's like I've got 5 right off the bat. Like,
I mean, you got Shrek, you got Kung Fu Panda, you got How to Train Your Dragon, you got Madagascar, you got Sinbad. If anybody even watched that movie, I don't know why that one came to mind. Trolls. Okay.
Puss in Boots: The Last Wish would probably be mine.
Hell yes. I mean, I told you to watch that, right? Was that me or
probably? It was probably you.
Okay,
that got me to watch it.
Because I told everyone I could when that came out. I was like, please watch this goated movie, please. Because that was a movie that like I went and I was like, I don't know, like I didn't like the first Puss in Boots that much. I thought it was kind of whatever. Yeah. And then the like reviews came out and it was like, this is the greatest animated movie ever made. I was like, what? There's no way. And then I saw it. And then I saw it again, and then I saw it again on streaming, and I watched it again recently. It was like, how do you manage this? Especially in that kind of a weird space for DreamWorks, where I hadn't felt like they had made a lot of the great stuff in recent, and it was like,
and that even made it better. It's like, man, this is truly like an underdog-esque type deal, and you're that good.
Yeah, and like it raised the bar too high because then we got like Trolls 3 and Kung Fu Panda 4. Listen, I love me some Kung Fu Panda. I did not like Kung Fu Panda 4.
I didn't either. Wasn't a fan.
I was so excited because like, oh, Puss in Boots, they're going to give that same treatment to Kung Fu Panda. It's going to be great. But yeah, no. The Last Wish is a phenomenal choice. Buddy, do you have one that you want to share?
I took my list down to 3, Daren. It's just going to have to do. I can't get shorter than that.
Go ahead.
Megamind.
Oh, okay.
I love Megamind so much. Like, it's ridiculous how much love I have for that movie. And then Shrek 2. Fantastic. You already said Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, so I was able to take that off. But Shrek 2, incredible. And then Prince of Egypt is such a beautiful movie. A great musical. Like, everything about The Prince of Egypt, if you haven't seen it, I really do implore you to go check it out. It's just that good on its own. It's from 1998, and I keep coming back to it. It just came out on 4K, I think, last year, I think. And I remember just being like, oops, snagging that as fast as possible because I'm like, that's a great movie.
Absolutely. Tez, do you have one?
Yeah. I forgot that this actually existed. Turbo.
You know what? I have not seen Turbo in many, many moons. So, hell yeah. Shout out to that little guy.
Shout out
That's
Turbo.
what I'm talking about.
Did you ever watch the really bad animated show they did for Netflix? Oh,
no.
I watched way too much of that show. I don't know why I kept doing it. No, it got to be How to Train Your Dragon 2 for me. Like those Dragons movies are like so. They might be one of the most like influential movies of my childhood. Like they were like I feel like they are the most influential movies of my childhood that came out when I was a child. Like Lion King's my favorite movie of all time. That was a 90s movie. I'm a 2000s kid. Those were like, oh yeah, this is like my generation's movie for me. Like, I saw that first one. I saw the second one in the drive-thru, and then 2019 I was there in theaters for that third movie. And I have some grievances with the third one, but that second one, a lot of people don't like the second one. It's genuinely, I think that's a masterpiece. I love that movie so much. I forced Braden here to watch all of them, and I was like, thank you so much for doing this for me. And no, I love that second movie. It's my second favorite film of all time, so that's kind of where it's at for me. But also, one's great, and then Puss in Boots is high up there. And then I don't think anyone here said it. Kung Fu Panda, the Kung Fu Panda 2, I think is a masterpiece. I love Kung Fu Panda 2. And again, it made me so sad going into Kung Fu because I think that trilogy is great. Like 1's a masterpiece, 2's a masterpiece, 3's a little bit of a letdown, but it's still really, really good. And then 4, it was like, oh, this is like a TV movie. Like I was really disappointed with that one. But alrighty, let's move on to our let's keep this train chugging. All right, next up.
Oh no,
that's not supposed to be there. I think
That's
I just copy and pasted one of the questions. No, I think it was
That's a big
copy
question.
and pasted all of the questions on accident. Let's pick something else.
Nice. I was
Just
like,
answer
man, we're
all
getting
of
real
them.
deep. Yeah.
All of them right now. Oh. What's the greatest comic book casting?
Oh,
This is the
jeez.
fun
What are
one.
with these questions, Darren? You're killing me over here.
Oh man.
Just across the board. What's the best one? Choose right now.
Best
Oh,
one
man.
right now.
You know what?
Braden,
One
I think
came
you
to my
have
head.
one, right?
Immediately. I'm going to say the first one. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, you can go ahead.
Good.
Oh, my
the
bad.
best-
I meant the first one that came to my head I'm keeping. Tatiana
Okay.
Maslany as She-Hulk.
Ooh. Okay.
Incredible casting. When I read She-Hulk when I was younger, and then I saw Tatiana Maslany, I was like, that's She-Hulk. I'm good. Don't cast anybody else.
Yeah, there's a thread going on right now on Twitter that's like recast She-Hulk, and I was like, okay, you can have your issues with She-Hulk, you can have it. Tatiana's not the issue. Like if
She's
you
not
have
the
problems with
issue
the show,
at all.
she's
No.
yes, absolutely. I think she's a highlight of that show.
She's
Is it-
incredible.
Is it a perfect show? No, absolutely not. But she killed it, and I hope
Right.
she comes back in something. I have a feeling it's Captain America 4. I have a feeling she'll have like a little cameo there.
I hope so.
Yeah, I think that needs to happen. Braden, do you have one? We've talked about one quite a bit, so I have a feeling what you might go with.
Casting?
Yeah, just favorite comic book casting, a movie, TV show, whatever it may be.
Like, I mean, just overall, it would be Kevin Conroy as Batman.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
Like,
You know what?
oh, yeah.
look appearance-wise, Matt Ryan is Constantine.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Yes.
That's a
Perfect.
great
That's a good
pick.
one, too.
Great pick.
Yeah, that's always my go-to answer is John Constantine because he just looks like he climbed right out of the comic book. Like he's just
Yeah. There's a reason
just-
they keep using him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After the
Everything.
show. Like,
And everything, live action,
Yeah.
animation, all of it.
like I don't want anyone from any other projects to go over to like the DCU, but he's the one. I'm like, yeah, just use him.
right.
Like no
Just
one will
use
give
him.
a shit.
Yeah.
Like,
I
he's-
mean,
he's
and
perfect.
it can make sense too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. They could like in canon be like, yeah, I'm climbing over, guys. It's whatever.
Or just
Um,
in every continuity, he just looks like Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
I mean, Matt Ryan does look like Constantine, so.
Yeah, they look. It's crazy. Yeah,
It
you
just-
just see
well,
photos
other
of
than
him out.
the Keanu continuity.
Yeah.
That's
We-
true.
We might get Constantine too. Who knows?
They say it's coming. Taz, do you have one?
Yeah. Christopher Reeve Superman.
Ooh, brilliant.
Yeah,
Great pick. Great pick.
Indeed.
Can
That is
never go wrong.
That first movie, incredible. I don't even remember the other ones, which is my bad, but that first one, wow,
yeah.
blew me away. You really could believe a man could fly.
Oh yeah.
Christopher Reeves.
I think the one like outside of Matt Ryan's Constantine, like again, I think that's perfect. I think like he has defined itself as that character, and that's J.K. Simmons as Jonah. Like Like
Oh,
like even when someone's playing Jonah, they're playing J.K. Simmons at this point. Like he's like defined the character to that point. And anytime you hear him, it's like you just hear, "Bring me photos of Spider-Man." Like it just he does that so perfectly. And then shout out to Aman who plays Miss Marvel. Like they just found Miss Marvel in the world, and they're like, "Hey, do you want to play this character?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure." And she's like, the fact that Miss Marvel was her first role ever is so incredible.
That's
like,
impressive.
Yeah, that's crazy.
With how good of a screen presence she has, 24/7. Like, that's one of a kind.
Yeah, like I liked the Marvels. I have things I love about that, thing I do not like about that, but she in my opinion, clears the show. She's easily the best part of the movie. Like if she's not in that movie, I don't know if I'd like it nearly as much as I did. So she's absolutely great. And then Kevin Conroy is a great shout. And like I feel like a lot of people throw in the like Robert Downey and Chris Evans and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, they're great, but I don't necessarily see them and think you're the only person that could play it. Like the Hugh Jackman thing's going on right now, where it's like no one else could play Hugh Jackman or no one could play Wolverine like Hugh Jackman. I was like, I think that's factually incorrect. Like I mean,
are we spoiling anything for Deadpool 3? Is that okay?
I think everyone here has seen it. Yeah. I think. Have you seen it, Taz? Yeah.
Yeah.
The first Wolverine variant played by Henry Cavill, Deadpool loves.
Yeah.
The first person who's ever played Wolverine in live action besides Jackman and canon Deadpool likes him. So get someone else.
I think that just proves.
Someone else.
Yeah.
That just proves that.
I want a fresh face. Like as much as I love Hugh Jackman, I think keeping him around as the main Wolverine would be the dumbest thing they could do. I would hate, like, again, keep him till Secret
I
Wars.
am happy that Hugh at least got to wear that cowl. That made me
100%. Yeah, like I love that he's back here. Give him Doomsday and Secret Wars, totally fine. Even if you want to throw him in like a little pod or whatever, and you can come back to him in another 5 years, whatever, that's fine. But for the main timeline, I want it to be someone fresh, someone in like their maybe late 30s or whatever that can play for the next 10, 15 years.
And get a short king in there. Short king. Let's do it.
Melissa Benoist is also a good call. Like, I don't think she's like the number one Supergirl, but she does a really good job. She'll probably always be and if we're going that route, like I don't think Grant's the only one that can play the Flash, but he's my Flash. Like he'll always kind of be that guy to me. So
now we've just mentioned heroes, but I mean I said Kevin Conroy's Batman, so Mark Hamill's the Joker, obviously. Willem Dafoe, Green Goblin, like.
Yeah, and that's what I love about the Joker, and I think that's the strength of DC, is I feel like most people that step into that role kill it. Like, there's so many perfect Joker castings. Like, Joaquin is great, and Heath Ledger is great, and, freaking the guy from Gotham is great. Like, there's so many great, like, Jokers out there. It's amazing.
Yeah, I feel like Jared Leto is the only Joker I've seen that I did not like.
Yeah, I was about to say, there hasn't been a bad Joker. Oh, wait,
the one we don't talk about.
We don't talk about him.
Alrighty.
He who shall not be named.
Current state of DC. Let's roll again. It likes picking those repeat ones, I guess. What we got up next? Is superhero fatigue real? All right.
I agree with James Gunn's take on that. No. You just need to make a good one.
Yeah, I
superheroes aren't the problem. The problem is not having worthwhile stories every time.
Sure. I don't know. Is there like a tiny part that might be real? Maybe. Like I feel like maybe casual audience, like there might be. I don't know. It's tough because, but also you have things like Deadpool that just made $1 billion, and you had Guardians last year that did well, and Joker's about to do well. So I think most of this problem is just like people are tired of the same old superhero movies again and again. Like I do think that is the problem. But also, is it still in the prime that it was back in like 2018? No. I do think a little bit fatigue has set in. Like I think it's a little bit of both. Buddy, what are you feeling?
I think superhero fatigue is real. I definitely think it is. Is that the root of the problem, though, with the superhero movies recently? No, I think we've definitely seen that it's Disney Plus. The idea of streaming these huge gambles of let's mass produce these things instead of once again looking at the quality that they had and why they were popular in the first place. I think that's obviously the bigger root of the issue. But superhero fatigue is definitely real in the aspect that, like, we also don't get a lot of Western cowboy movies anymore because that genre of film, while there were different subgenres of those movies, they're not around as much anymore. And I think that's a very similar thing to superheroes in a way. I'm not saying directly, but in the same way where it's like, you're not going to be able to succeed with certain superhero movies moving forward if they're not hitting the quality or the emotional stuff or the character things. Like, you can definitely get fatigued out on superheroes. I definitely got there for a while.
Yeah, and I feel like there comes to a point where superheroes shouldn't be the genre of the movie, and that's why what James Gunn is doing right now. Again, I don't need to keep sipping over James Gunn, but like, here's an action movie.
Let's do it.
Like, here's your action movie, here's your scary movie, here's your space odyssey movie, here's your comedy. Like, just like from the announcement, it felt like every announcement he gave off was a different genre. Yeah, it was like, yes, that's what you need to do. And you know, like I
think if you're
Marvel,
making like 10 a year, you're gonna get fatigued over anything.
Exactly.
And that's the thing. It's not just them. Like, it's not just, if it was just Marvel or whatever, I'd be like, okay, but it's Marvel and DC and The Boys,
Amazon
and Netflix and Amazon. Like, it's everybody.
And it just doesn't apply to superheroes either. That's just like everything.
Yeah.
100%. Honestly, I think a great example is The Boys, where it's like you have something like The Boys that is used as a meta way to make fun of superhero properties while turning into the exact same thing it is making fun of right now with announcing spinoff after spinoff after spinoff. Even if I'm sitting there like, this is awesome, your show is about making fun of that, and now you are that. So it's like,
there's like 5 shows at the moment. Which I'm excited for all the shows, but also I'm worried. I'm
worried about a few, but
are you losing the sauce a little bit? With
are you losing the plot here? The sauce is looking a little.
And like, this is also the thing that I think is kind of scary, and it's like when Marvel changes the format, they hate it, and it's like, that is true. It's like, and I'm excited for the future of Marvel, and you know, say what you want about Phase 4 and 5, they were trying, at least in some aspects, to do it differently. Like Doctor Strange, you can tell they were changing the formula. Eternals, not the biggest fan of that movie, but they were changing the formula. They were doing different things, and what they got from all that was like, well, actually, we don't like this. Like, go back to what was working. And it's like, yes, but and them saying like, we're going to be focusing on the sequels. We're going to be focusing on what works. It's like, yes, but are you losing what makes you special? Like, you wouldn't have got your Ant-Man, you wouldn't have got your Guardians, you wouldn't have got, I don't know, some of my favorite MCU movies. And it's scary. Like, again, if you just want to focus on what works for the next couple of years to get people back, fair enough. I get that. But you can't let that stick. You can't let that be your main mentality for the next 10 years. I don't know.
I kind of feel like back in 2019, that's probably why Joker made $1 billion, because it was so much different than any other comic book movie that had come out.
100%. Yeah, and again, like, what's that looking like this year? There's been so many that have tried to do similar stuff now.
I definitely don't think it's gonna make $1 billion, but probably gonna still make a lot of money.
Incredibles 3 was just announced this past week, and I was like, I think it opens a very interesting case, because the first one came out, superhero things weren't all the rage yet. 2018, it came out in the peak of the rage. Where does Incredibles 3 fit in? That will be, 2027, 2028?
Especially after we've had an actual Fantastic Four movie at that point.
Yeah, that's very true. Taz, you have kind of thoughts on this whole topic?
Yeah. I think for a lot of people, maybe it's less so fatigue, but more so like oversaturation. I think
that's a good word,
you guys brought up a very, very good example of how, you know, James Gunn is laying out the new DCU as different genres for each of these movies. So it's not necessarily these are all superhero movies. These are all genre films that just so happen to feature this superhero or that superhero, this team of heroes or this team of villains or whatever here and there. So again, I think really try not to oversaturate the market, and I feel like having these last couple of years where there's actually less content coming out has been very good for them. I think in a very similar way to like Star Wars was very oversaturated for a point. There were 2 Star Wars films, you know, TV shows, movies, everything coming out like, you know, all in the same year for a couple years in a row, and then people got burnt out. It was oversaturated, and then they had to take a step back. You know, now we're getting, you know, 1 or 2 shows a year, and we haven't seen a Star Wars movie in like, what, 3-4 years now at this point. So now people are like, okay, when's the next movie coming out? You know, what are we getting here? So I think almost, you know, putting ourselves in that mode where, you know, quality over quantity is what I will always preach. So I think if we can get 1 or 2 good movies a year from each of the big studios, or 1 or 2 good shows a year from each of the big studios, I'm happy with that rather than 3 to 5, rushed projects that are just products of the corporate machine at that point,
Yeah, I'm curious what the next couple of years, because these next couple of years are still trying to get stuff out from the COVID and strikes, unfortunately. I'm curious, though, because I think both studios have kind of adapted the mentality of less is more. Hopefully, eventually, like James Gunn said, his goal at one point is going to be 3-year, which includes movies and TV, right? So if that's 2 movies a year, 1 show a year, I think that's a good amount. I think that's a perfect amount. And then even over at Marvel, I think they said what their limit was it 5 a year, but that's for everything, right? So movies, TV, like the animated stuff, the uncanon stuff, like it's just kind of whatever. And I also think that's a good amount. Is it too much for some people? Possibly still. Like that is still a lot for people to keep up on. But also if that includes stuff like X-Men 97, which I actually think really helped this year. I think that's a perfect thing this year. Whereas like, okay, that's a Marvel thing that kept us entertained for 9 weeks, but it wasn't the MCU, so it didn't feel like another MCU thing. I think they need more of that kind of thing. Spider-Verse came out last year. That's a perfect gap. It's Marvel, but not the main kind of thing that we've kind of known to expect from them. So it's going to be an interesting couple years, especially with, I think, the Marvel reboot happening. I think like it seems like with Secret War, that's going to be we're changing everything, and they're going to have to like, well, here's all our new movies to introduce these new casts of characters and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, they've got a lot of content to pack in the next 3 years.
Yeah. There's like 4 like on the slate that haven't been announced yet, and it's like, what does that all kind of hold? All right, let's move on to our next thing here. That's another repeat. They just keep doing the same ones. What's the best video game adaptation? So yeah, that's our second video game question. I actually feel like there aren't a lot of like, I guess, options in terms of this one. Like I feel like the same several kind of get thrown around when this question's asked. Brayden, I know you're not a huge video game guy. Is there an answer to this question though that comes to your mind first?
My favorite movie that is based on video game characters is Sonic 2.
Oh, hell
That's
yeah.
a great answer. It's a great answer.
Love that movie. It's incredible.
Amazing.
I've seen it like 5 times, so.
So we're talking movie adaptation of a video game, not vice versa. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's a tough
or a TV show as well. It could be either movie or TV.
Let's throw it way back to one of those original Mortal Kombat movies.
Ooh. Nice.
Yeah. Love that. Buddy, do you have one?
I think, like, I have 2, but I think there's a definitive one for this question. I would have said Fallout because it's an incredible adaptation of the world and stuff, and it's in the canon and in the story. But if we're talking the best video game adaptation to the visual medium on big screen or whatever, I'm going The Last of Us because that is a true adaptation of that game. And the stuff that they expanded on, the stuff that they took away, the stuff that they made different contexts about are all like improvements or expansions on the original narrative. And I think that's the best way to do it. Like being truthful, having the atmosphere there, the visuals, the storylines, the characters, all the important things, and then taking advantage of your medium. You have an extra episode. Let's invest more time into some characters who were literally background characters or one who was dead in the game, but we're actually going to take some time and make an emotional connection to them instead because we're taking advantage of the medium. And I'm like, that is a damn good video game adaptation.
I agree. Those are my 2, I think I loved The Last of Us when it aired, man. Like, I feel like it's gotten a little bit of flack since since it's recently came out. People just like, well, it's the same thing, so I didn't like it so much. And, that's fair. Like, I'm usually like that when it comes to reboots and stuff like that. But why I think that is important is because, like, there's a whole group of people who didn't play that game, who would never play that game, who got to experience this incredible, incredible story. And then on the flip side, people who had seen of it, I still found it to be such a special experience. And you know, with that being said, 3's easily I think the best of the show because it is this fresh story that felt like a Oscar-worthy movie that I just watched. Like that 50 minute story was such an important thing, I think. And like, you know, not to get all preachy, but I feel like mainstream LGBTQ plus like representation doesn't happen very well. Like people still like to say like, oh, everything's gay now, but it's like it's not really, like not good stuff, like not really. And I feel like this touched an entire group of people who had never have seen this type of story before. I think that is so unbelievably special. But I do think in terms of like Fallout, like yes, I haven't played the Fallout game, so I can't say for that one. But like also just like I think it bridged that line perfectly of like, hey, it's set in the world. We're already, you know, you know, if you play the games, it's perfect. If you not play the games, it's also perfect. Everybody can enjoy this equally. And I'm shocked more video game adaptations haven't done that. Apparently Borderlands did that, but like they did that in a way, I haven't seen it yet, but apparently they did that in a way that also just ignores, like they don't, you know, really care about the source material either. So it's like, I don't know. I wish they could do more of that. Again, as not a huge gamer, like just set it in the world of the game. So it's something new, but also gives all the video games fans what they also want with that. So, but yeah, no, I think those two at the moment are like the golden standard of like video game adaptations at the moment, from what I've heard from people. Also, I know a lot of people hate it. Shout out to Mario. I don't know. I kind of thought that was fun.
Which one?
Oh, clearly the 19. No, it's the new one.
I'm like the 90s. There we go. No, I'm just kidding.
I watched that for the first time for an episode of the show a couple months ago, and I was like, oh yeah, that sucked. That was exactly what I heard. It wasn't great. All right. Great. Oh, I love how it's a huge list and we just keep getting those same answers. What's the greatest animated movie?
Man.
Ant-Man
and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Oh hell yeah! I'm gonna go use the bathroom really, really quickly. Someone give their favorite animated movie. Just I'll be like 30 seconds.
Okay.
Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker.
That's a good one.
That's a really
pretty
good
solid.
one. Yeah, that flashback scene probably my favorite Batman scene ever on screen.
Maybe piggyback off that and say Mask of the Phantasm is definitely in that conversation. I love that film. But man, best animated of all time. This is tough because it's like there's so many different kinds and types of animation to choose from. Yeah. It's like I think maybe the most, and this goes back to the subjectivity thing. It's like I think objectively, Across the Spider-Verse may be the greatest animated movie based on what it was able to do.
True.
Oh man,
I'm trying to think. What were those? It was like Apocalypse, End of the World Avengers movies where. And then there was like a Young Avengers, with like the young Cap with the like the holographic shield.
Yeah,
I can't remember what it was called.
Ultron
was
so cool.
Young Avengers or something. I don't know.
It might have been. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, but yeah, I remember watching that one. I feel like that was one of those movies that you picked up from like the little $5 section at Target, and I used to watch that with my brother all the time, and we were just like, "Yeah, this is such a sick movie."
Hell yeah.
So.
What are we talking
favorites.
I have to check those out. I don't think I've seen
the older, it was an animated Young Avengers movie where everybody died, and the young they're just trying to like pick up the pieces, and Ultron's the villain and all that stuff. Yeah. So, yeah,
that might be the first Marvel movie I ever watched. Actually, if I'm thinking back,
like, it's a good one.
It's a good, and it's actually really good because it like introduces you to all the key players and like, all right, you know these guys, they're dead now.
Here are the kids.
Yep, and it was such a that was before Young Justice, right? Probably.
Oh yeah.
Okay, it's a fun concept, man. I like it a lot.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what everybody said yet. I feel like I already gave a lot of my answers. Like I already talked about Lion King. I talked about Moana. I talked about How to Train Dragon and Puss in Boots. Shout out to just like Fantastic Mr. Fox. That was
such a great movie.
Such a I feel like that movie's the like definition of like animation isn't always for kids. Like I feel like that's the poster box for a movie like that. It's just this. I want more of that. Like I want animated movies that aren't like these raunchy comedies, right? That are just like good movies, but also not meant for kids. That's not a movie I necessarily think you should put on in front of your child. Won't hurt them, but it's a movie made for adults, and that's that kind of movie, and it's fantastic. I need to rewatch it again. It's been many years for me, but
I think it's worth putting in Howl's Moving Castle. I think that's a great one if y'all have seen that, or Kiki's Delivery Service. I like Studio Ghibli movies. I'm a big fan.
Yeah,
I'm a huge fan of those.
I don't know if I've ever actually watched one, and I know.
Oh, you totally should.
I've been putting them off for years and years.
I feel like you're gonna fall in love with it.
I know I will.
Yeah. Are
Are
you afraid of that destiny, Daren?
I know it's one of those things. It's like I'm too afraid to. So many of those like the greatest of all time movies. And I was like, do I want to finally press that button and see greatness?
Hey, the day will come. The day will come.
Absolutely.
Honorable mention, maybe the that first SpongeBob movie that the whole show was supposed to end off of. That would have probably been the best ending that they could have had. Yeah.
I heard this is I don't watch SpongeBob, but like apparently the Plankton movie also leaked online, and that's the second movie in a row that leaked online. I was like, those guys cannot catch a break.
Oh my god! It's like they're just the whole movie.
Yeah, like, it's just online apparently.
Wow,
yeah,
it
doesn't come out until like next summer apparently. Like it's
no way. That's crazy.
Crazy.
What
and
a
the same.
leak.
And again, the same thing happened last year with the squirrel, the Sandy movie, I guess. So that came out like a year ago, and it's like, it's crazy.
Speaking of leaked movies, what is it? Scooby-Doo and Crypto 2?
Yeah, I'm glad that came out.
Wait, is it like coming out physically or like it just?
Oh, it's already out. It's been out
they released it.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What have I done?
It's out.
I've been waiting on that movie.
I haven't seen it yet. But I want to.
Yeah, I think it came out like last year.
No way, I've been waiting on that one. How did I miss it?
Wasn't it on Max for like
Chad?
a week or two, and then they immediately took it off?
Oh really? That's bullshit.
Oh, let me see where it is.
I watched those Sandy Jakes movie last weekend. Well, I hope it was good.
Oh my gosh, yeah, 2023. Look at that. How did I miss this?
Yeah.
I
didn't.
No, it's only watch now for $3.99 on YouTube.
Okay. Okay, I think we're gonna aim for 2 more questions here until we kind of wrap things up. And this next one is, what's a film that you think is criminally underrated?
Going to my list.
Yeah, I might have to too. I think where I failed here is I didn't think of the answers to the own questions I was asking, which you would think would be the no-brainer, but I also did not do that.
I have it. I have mine. I think one of the most underrated movies is The Nice Guys, directed by Shane Black from 2016. It's my number 9 on my top 10 movies of all time. Incredible. I can't believe it never got a sequel. It's so damn funny. It's so good.
Yes.
Ryan Gosling. This is the movie that made me fall in love with Ryan Gosling. I think it's incredible. I think his chemistry with Russell Crowe is very good. And then I've been recently getting into more of Shane Black's filmography, and I just keep going back to The Nice Guys because I'm like, this is quintessential Shane Black for me. Mm-hmm. And I think like one thing that he's really good at is his like duos. And I think, why can't I think of that movie? It's Robert Downey Jr. and Val Kilmer. Crap, hold on. I gotta look it up. Oh yeah, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Mm-hmm. Incredible movie. I'd say those two are very underrated for me. Very, very good.
Yeah, The Nice Guys. I always say The Nice Guys and the original Mean Girls from 2004. The
yes!
two movies I've ever seen.
Those are
great. Those are the two movies that consistently get laughs out of me.
You're cooking.
Yeah.
You're cooking. It's a great double feature.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna throw out Love and Monsters from 2022.
Okay.
I don't know why. I think I made Braden here watch it. I sat us down like, hey, we gotta watch this movie. I think he fell asleep.
We did watch it.
It's all right. Yeah, we did watch it.
I finished it.
Hell yeah, thank you, man. And I don't know. I finished it and I was like, this is my favorite thing I've ever seen. Like I don't know why. I was so fascinated by the movie. It was like a very B-list. Like it's nothing insane, but also I think it's like it doesn't do anything wrong either. It's just this really fun apocalypse love story that I felt that had such like a unique vibe, and the fact it never got a sequel kills me. It's Disney, so I don't know if I can say this is underrated, but like Christopher Robin, the like live action Winnie the Pooh movie that they made was like, I feel like didn't get the like love it like deserved at the time. And I guess then Book Club was also really good. Like I feel like that doesn't get the love it sometimes needs. Taz, do you have one?
Yeah, since you guys were given sometimes a 1 and 2, Sandlot 1 and 2. I feel like those are two of my favorites.
Sequel.
Yeah, there are actually 3 of them.
There's a third one?
There's a third
I've only
one.
seen the second and the first.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah,
Is
Sandlot,
it good?
Third one's okay.
There's a reason why you don't have 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sandlot 1 and 2. Sandlot 3 is like it's its own thing. It brings back some ideas from the first movie, but Sandlot 1 and 2, I would just loop both of those movies. Just watch one right after the other, and then go right back to the first one. So.
Mm-hmm. I heard they were like back when Disney Plus first dropped, they were like, we're doing this animated, or we're like making a TV series, and I was like, okay. It never came out, but no. I don't know. I'm looking through my list. You know what? It's not underrated, but the Iron Claw, because it didn't get nominated for a freaking Oscar. I thought that was a masterpiece.
I'm gonna say Halloween 4. That's my favorite Halloween sequel.
Is that H2O? Or which one?
No, Halloween 4 is the Return of Michael Myers. When
oh my gosh, that one's ridiculous.
Gosh,
I love that. That's a good. You know what? No, I take it back. That's a good choice because that's a ridiculous movie. Woo! The Room.
Awesome.
Oh my.
Oh, nice.
I feel like that's the one people say is bad, right? Or
it's so unbelievable.
Yeah,
okay.
it's like notoriously. Okay. It's a. Have you seen
there's
the
like
Disaster
The Room
Artist?
and
That's
there's
what that
Room.
is.
Like,
Room is very good. The Room.
Okay. Yeah, because I always get mixed up because people were like, "Oh yeah, I won all these awards." I was like, "It did? I thought people hated it."
I feel like it's a cult classic at this point, but I will just throw out the Jim Carrey's "How the Grinch Stole Christmas." Love that.
Oh
movie.
yes, yep.
Yeah. And I think, if we're going that route, now it's a cult classic. Like, back when it first came out, The Emperor's New Groove was like, people didn't watch it too much. One of my favorite movies of all time. I love that.
Just rewatched it. Very good.
Oh, I think it's the funniest movie I've ever seen. I think it's so good. And I guess I could just throw out, like, all the Pixar movies that came out during COVID that, like, I feel like people kind of slept on. Like, the Luca and stuff like that. I thought was, like,
Luca's great.
Luca and Soul. Like, it just didn't get the talk it needed because COVID. Taz, did you give? Oh yeah, you gave.
Sandlot 1 and 2, but not Sandlot 3. We don't talk about Sandlot 3.
I mean, I went through my Sandlot phase, man. I went through it.
I want to give one last bit of love to R-rated comedies because I miss them. Ooh, every time they come out. I want more. The Jump Street movies, 21 and 22. Those are so good. Are some of the some of the stuff outdated? Yeah, but like the fourth wall breaking meta humor we have in like Deadpool and Wolverine. It's like if you would have got Phil Lord and Chris Miller on that team, Deadpool and Wolverine would be an 11 out of 10 with how good the writing is because those movies they just get it done. They just get it done.
Oh, one more, the Lego Batman movie.
So good.
Oh yeah.
We could have an entire stream around most underrated movies because there's just so many. It's another great
in the same realm of DC animated movies. I'll throw out Justice League Gods and Monsters. I feel like that's one that gets overlooked.
So good.
I mean, I feel like you could throw in like all of the DC animated. Like I feel like a lot of them are underrated.
We talked about a few before you left.
Yeah.
We started talking about all the cool ones as soon as you left, Darren.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, that one's like in my top 10 though, Darren. Like I love that movie.
I know you do. It's great. I Shadow Power Rangers as well when that came out. Like I feel like that's the answer now. Like, oh, it didn't do very well, and now we love it. And I was like, well, you should have seen that over Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, you're talking about 2017?
Oh.
I got that on 4K. Yes. I bought that. I was like, yeah. So I love that movie.
It's like it has its problems, but it's such a charming movie. And I would have loved to see
I love
that
the promotion for it too.
Yeah. Oh, just a Krispy Kreme every 2 seconds.
Dude, I can still taste those Krispy Kreme donuts. Oh man.
Oh my gosh, yeah. We
Was
don't
it
have any of
crispy?
those around here, so I don't really know what they are. But I mean, I know they're donuts, obviously, but like I've never had one. But no, I'd love if like they're not coming back at this point. But I'd love if they were like, well, our TV show reboot fell through. Let's just bring back that cast and screw it.
Yeah.
Although I think the cast is kind of big at this point. Maybe it's too late. They're all in their 40s at this
Yeah.
point. Maybe it's too late. Maybe it's like a Logan style Power Ranger movie. Although it's kind of the vibe of the first one, if I'm being honest. All right, our last question here. I think this is a fun one to end on. If you could direct a movie about any character, what would it be and why? I think I've killed Buddy over here.
I don't know why you keep doing this.
Oh man.
Why do you keep doing this?
I gotta think.
You know what? You know what?
Oh, hold on. I got.
I'm
something, too.
going to my roots. We talked
Okay.
about it in the beginning. Give me a Saw movie. I want to do a Saw movie. To direct such an interesting cat and mouse type story through the thriller horror, like slap it in your face, like we're just going for it. Kind of raunchy in a way. Like I would love to direct a Saw movie and give me Anya Taylor-Joy leading a Saw movie as the final girl, and that's what I'm doing.
I'd watch that. Love Anya.
Oh no, everybody.
I was like, is Darren frozen?
Hello?
Hello.
Am I
Yes.
back? Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
you're
I was out for like a good 30 seconds. I was like, oh. Last thing I heard was Saw. Okay, I'm back. Can you guys hear me? Okay, cool. Where did we leave off?
Oh, I summed mine up with I'd like to direct a Saw movie. And then I'd like, if I could pick my lead actor, I would go Anya Taylor-Joy. I would like a big name like that. And I think she'd do a great job in being like a final girl in a Saw movie.
Sure. I have not braved like treacherous waters that are the Saw movies, and
Please, Darren, I'm
I
begging you.
I get so easily scared. I don't know if I want to put that up on myself.
You're gonna get to it. Like, I understand that. You would
Yeah.
get to a point though where you're like, oh, clearly we're not scary anymore. We're just having a fun time
We're
now.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
That because I get you. That's kind of where I was years ago, and that does tend to drop off. It's actually like, I don't know how into anime you are. Saw turns into the craziest live action anime of all time. Like the types of monologues these characters give, it's absurd. It's incredible.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I've heard I heard Saw 10 was like a lot of fun.
So good.
Taz, do you have any character in mind that you'd like to direct?
Yeah. Let's turn the Force Unleashed games into movies and bring Starkiller into live action. Thank you very much, Sam Witwer, lead, of course.
Sure.
So make Starkiller canon. And
Sam
let
Witwer,
him-
you have me. That's just all you have to say. Like him?
Yeah.
All right, I'll watch it. Although I guess
and-
with that logic, I'd finally watch Clone Wars, but
That's true. That's true. How much Clone Wars haven't you seen? Or the whole
I've
thing?
seen like 12 episodes, maybe.
Oh, dude. You gotta watch all
I
of
hear it
Clone
gets
Wars.
good.
You gotta watch all of Rebels.
I know. Last time we were talking, I started, or like last time you were on, I was on Clone Wars, and I haven't watched much since, unfortunately. Brayden, do you have an answer?
Well, of course it'd be a Batman movie, but
Of course.
it's kind of similar to the Batman. I like the horror themes that was kind of going for. Obviously, it's Batman, so it's not going to be a full-on horror movie. But I'd love to see Professor Pig in a movie.
Really cool. Like a slasher.
Yeah.
A Batman slasher movie, I'm in.
That'd be cool. That woman had that really. I think was it the third season. I think they had like that
That was one
Professor
good
Pig episode,
yeah.
and it was
Right.
like a like they were all stuck in the apartment with like Professor Pig, and like she couldn't be Batwoman because they couldn't know it was her. Like it was like
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
what this was unbelievably good, and like I love season 3, but it was in an era where I was like I don't know, and then you're like, hey, here's the best episode of the show. I was like, holy shit, this is crazy. But for me, like story wise, I've always said like Aladdin, but I feel like Aladdin is one where it's like I don't know, me as like a Caucasian personally, I don't know if I should be the one to direct like an Aladdin type movie.
Sure.
Like I feel like putting someone with more of the background in place to direct a movie. But in terms of like the story, I think I could make a really cool Aladdin.
Yeah.
Because I love that 2019 movie, but I wish it was a little bit more daring. Like I wish they did, like, it's such an open story. I feel like you can do so many things with that. Like,
was that a play on your name? More daring, like more Daren. You need more Daren in your Aladdin. Because I get it.
It was not, but I would definitely take it. But yeah, like I think that would be cool. Or at least like let's throw out some ideas for something like that. Yeah. But I've always said, and again, I don't know if I'd be the one directing it because I don't know if I'd be a good director. But I think like I want a Rogue movie so bad. Oh, I think Rogue is one of the most interesting Marvel characters ever. I would say like they like Netflix, like a Netflix Daredevil vibe, like the vibe of those shows, but with a Rogue, right? Of just this like almost this coming of age dark drama of a girl who can't touch another person is so fascinating. Like that's such a fascinating concept to me, and she's such a traumatic character, and it's her high school life trying to manage to be a teenager. I think it'd be so cool. This kind of goes into like the genre thing we're talking about. Like that's unlike any other kind of superhero movie or TV show up until that point. So, that would definitely be my pick.
Can I throw up another Batman pick? A Batman Beyond movie with Michael Keaton as Old Man Bruce Wayne.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, it's a great pick. But yeah, I think as fun as this is, I do think this is where I'm gonna have to cut this episode off. Again, thank you everybody for 100 episodes of the show. Thank you to everyone who's here today. Thank you to Taz, Red Arrow Buddy, and obviously Everest, who was here earlier in the stream. I've like this is a small show. This isn't a show that gets a lot of viewers on the frequent, but like this has been like the show's like been my baby for the last like year and a half. Like I tried doing podcasts in the past, they always kind of flopped or whatever. I didn't commit to them, and I don't know. This has just been my consistent thing that I've been able to build up until this point. I think like me a year and a half ago to me now is I think different people, and I do think part of it is like I've become more confident through the show. I've been able to reach out to different people. That has very much helped my like self-esteem. Obviously obviously Buddy and Taz I've met through doing this show. I think I've met Buddy on Eric's thing or whatever, but like I feel like I've become friends with you guys, friends with so many unbelievable people. Like I didn't count how many guests I've had on the show, but like it was killing me. Like I couldn't invite everybody to this, and so many people that's helped with the show over the years, that helped me out all these years. Obviously, Braden, you've been friends for many, many moons now. I've been on the show many, many times. And again, I want to thank everyone for being here in the first 100 episodes and hopefully 100 more. We're gonna start with where can people freaking find you? Taz, let's start with you. Where are you located? Tell us.
I am located on the interwebs, YouTube at Toxic Taz, on Twitter at Toxic_Taz, and on Instagram at Toxic Taz, where I will post all of my controversial takes as far as liking shows that people don't seem to like very much.
Absolutely. Go check them out there. Braden, the Red Arrow, where can people find you? Where are you freaking located?
Yeah, I'm on YouTube at the Red Arrow, and I got 2 podcasts there on my channel where you can find them wherever you find your podcast. One's That's So Random that I do with Andrew, and one I do with Everest, who was here earlier, Giggly Gorillas. And Daren, you were on That's So Random a lot earlier this week.
I feel like I've been on that show more than I haven't in the recent. We went through every single X-Men movie. We talked back when it first came out, Wonder Woman 1984. We talked about Scream at one point. So yeah, there's a bunch of episodes featuring me. So if you want like a nice little transition over to his show, that's where you can go check those stuff out. And Buddy, where can people find you?
So primarily, you're gonna find videos maybe couple times a month before I inevitably take another 5-month gap and then come back again. As Buddy's Big Screen on YouTube, I'm a lot happier over there now, making some better content. It's more relevant type content, so active movies that are coming out or announcements. That's normally what I've been breaking down recently. Otherwise, you can find my awful takes on Twitter, Buddy's Big Screen, same handle. I just deliver the most outrageous, awful takes. So if that's what you're interested in, that's what you'll find over there.
Absolutely. Yeah. Great content all around. There's a reason why all of these amazing fellows were on this episode. Not to say that if you weren't great, you wouldn't be on this episode. It's just, I love all of your guys' content. Always great stuff all around. And yeah, without further ado, I will see you guys on the flip side. Bye-bye.